We're going to look at some more outstanding trees at the clearing today, and we're going to start with the most famous trees at the clearing, probably the 3 pines at the bottom of the lodge meadow. We already talked about white pine a couple of months ago, the big beautiful one at the Jensen Center, but we can't talk about great trees at the clearing without talking about these 3 pines. They're old. They're right down on the edge of the near the edge of the escarpment, where they grow very slowly. They were here already during Jensen's time. White pines, pines in general, compared to spruce and fir, for instance, get more graceful with age. They're very gnarly, holding some dead branches, but old white pines are very picturesque, and none more than these 3. I don't think anything at the clearing has been painted or photographed or written about more than these 3 pines at the bottom of the lodge meadow. Some people call them the 3 sisters. I don't know why. We have some big red oaks on the property. I think this is the biggest one. It's just a little bit south of the Players Green, not too far from the road. And legend has it that back in the 50s, when the clearing was really hurting for money, that Murtha had some loggers come in and take some of the trees out. If they came today, they would want this tree. Red oak is valuable timber wood, lumber wood, and whenever I see this tree, I always think, what would a sawmill owner think of? You know, he'd want to take this tree down, because these, and there are several like this. There are 4 or 5 huge red oaks here, and if you look up, it's 30, 40 feet before the first branch. Nice straight trunks. It would be a beautiful timber tree, but we don't do that at the clearing. We just enjoy them, and my guess is that if we age this tree somehow, it'd probably go back 100 to 150 years. So this is a big old red oak. Red oak is the oak in Door County. There are a few white oaks that I've seen up here, but if you see an oak in Door County, it's almost certainly a red oak. And this is a dandy right here. We have some beautiful red pines growing right along the edge of the escarpment at the clearing. This is the nicest one right at the bottom of the schoolhouse meadow. And it's one of our 2 native pines in Door County. We have red pine and white pine, a white pine growing right next to it. But this is a red pine. Some people call it Norway pine. And it has, when they get older, this beautiful bark pattern of shades of gray and kind of rusty red and brown, in this beautiful mottled pattern, one of the nicest bark patterns of any native tree in Door County. One of the only places that it grows natively in Door County is right along the escarpment. It grows all over the county because it was planted as a plantation tree for many years and has seeded everywhere in the county now, but the truly native ones are right along the escarpment. They're on both sides of the, right along the edge on both sides of the peninsula. So we're lucky to have some really nice ones here, including this one, red pine. We're here next to the labyrinth at the clearing, looking at one of the biggest white spruces I've seen in Door County. Don't have a lot of them on this side of the peninsula. They're mostly over on the east side. My theory on this one is that it was planted by the pioneers. Their farm was right here where the labyrinth is. And I think this was a farmyard tree. It towers above these arborvitae, or these white cedars, that Jensen planted back in, I suppose, the 20s or 30s. He planted this half circle of white cedars to honor the pioneers. but I'm quite sure this tree was already here when Jensen bought the property. It towers above these trees, and if you look up, if you get a look at it, it is not doing very well. It's going downhill, I've noticed, the last few years, so I'm not sure how much longer it's going to be around. It'll be sad when it goes, because this is kind of a relic here of pioneer farming days at the clearing, the white spruce. This is an ironwood tree, also called hop hornbeam, or American hop hornbeam. I call it ironwood. It has the hardest wood of any native tree, harder even than sugar maple. And it's not so outstanding because of its size, but because it's a rescue tree. Eric and I planted this, I think, either in the summer or spring of 2000 or 2001, the first tree I planted at the clearing. And it's famous here because the birds love it so much. And there are so many woodpeckers and nuthatches and also squirrels up and down this tree all the time that they've torn off most of the outer bark, that darker gray bark, and revealed this lighter inner bark, which you normally wouldn't see on ironwood. But because the animals and birds are on this all the time, the outer bark has fallen off. And it's a beautiful multiple stem tree. It's done beautifully. It was about that tall when we planted it. Now it's probably 35 feet tall. And it's the one that I see outside my window every day. So ironwood or American hop hornbeam.